Yeah.
And what about the neighborhood? So this is actually fairly close to our office on 17th Ave and Camelback, an area that is certainly developing, very walkable to light rail, very walkable to light rail. And we've seen a lot of development very close to this, apartment buildings, hotels on the north side of Camelback.
That whole neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah.
So again, full disclosure, anybody who's been in Phoenix for a long time, if you would have said, I'm looking at something on 17th Avenue north of Camelback, south of Camelback, anything right there, basically between in the avenues up getting closer to 17th Avenue, I'm sorry, I-17,
yeah.
You go, ooh, little bit troubling there, a little tougher tenant profile, a little rougher, neighborhood. Well, things really change with the light rail. And I'm not saying that it's perfect, but I'm saying you can see a precipitous change in what's going on in these neighborhoods, and specifically anything above Camelback. Our last project we sold that was on 19th Avenue, still a great project. I missed not owning it, but never had any regrets about it. Being north of Camelback is even better.
Yep.
If you drive the neighborhood, you can see some of the smaller apartment buildings are being torn out and apartment buildings being built there. So we're not the only newer building in the neighborhood. The older buildings have been renovated. The housing looks good. It's a solid neighborhood. I'm pretty comfortable with it.
Yeah, and it's what I heard you refer to as the path of progress. As we see that development happen along that corridor, it's going right that way. As you look at where development moves, to your point with light rail, in other cities that are a little earlier than Phoenix with light rail, you began to see development, especially multifamily around the light rail, and folks wanting to live in those areas because they could save money with not having to have a car, public transportation. That we're now beginning to see in Phoenix. I think it's taken a little bit of time, but this area is primed for that benefit from that big infrastructure of the light rail.
That's it right there, Jameson. It's so again, you can argue all day long that look, the light rail, the ridership's not what we thought it'd be. It doesn't matter. The fact is, the city, the state, the county invested in these neighborhoods, and through that investment, they've created a catalyst for development, and that's what we're seeing happen. So it might not have been, this building might not be a direct result of light rail. What happened is some of the other people other businesses that were less desirable along Camelback or along the avenues right there got pushed out when you started having better residents and better businesses come in. The light rail forced, more city involvement and stuff that's going on in the neighborhood. So if it was a problem property, they were out. If they were not managing the way they take care of the property, they were out. That combined with the light rail, combined with accelerated interest in the property, combined with affordable housing still within walking distance of great neighborhoods. So that's what's happening in that area. I mean, it's again, 10 years ago, someone said I'm building there. I go, huh, whatever. Now I look at it and go, all right, this makes sense.
Yeah.
And the property feels comfortable. It's well put together. Now it's not gated, and that was one of the criticisms I've had from a few of our staff.
And it was something that we looked at.
We did, and I don't think initially it's something we can do based on the way the property flows. And I think because of some of where the utility transformers are, water meters, things like that. But the way it's set up, we don't really have to. It doesn't. It's not a prop. Only people that are in that property are people who live there.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to do some gating on some of the little common area elements where the playground's actually gated off. Where right now it's kind of open. I think it's better if you want to have your dog running around the playground or where the gazebo is. But beyond that, it's I was listening to an interview the other day with Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's partner. And one of the things he likes to say is that you don't have to buy a cheap company for a fantastic price. It's better to buy good companies at a fair price. And when I see this property, it's one of those examples. I didn't need to take advantage of somebody who's in trouble. We didn't need to take buy the cheapest building on the street for the best price. We just needed to buy the right property at the right price and run it better.
Yeah.
And that's, falling back on Buffett and Munger, That's their whole philosophy.
Yeah.
Buy things that are operating well and then take it to the next level. So I think we can do more of that, and we can be a little contrarian right now and take advantage of that because we have good lending relationships and good investors.
Now, the last point, and this is by far the most important, is that the color of the doors and the garages, we're hearing from all of our investors. We did a poll, and the light blue, similar to your shirt, it's a good color.
Oh.
My favorite color. All of the investors, 100% of them are saying you have to keep that color.
you know what? All right.
Just kidding. I like the color. Some people don't like the color.
So what's kind of interesting? The picture we put on our website, it's a great picture, but it's kind of right there on the garage kind of entrance and stuff. It looks great. But when you step back and look and tell the whole picture of what that building looks like with some of the other trim colors and the way the building is, you go, wrong color.
Right.
But right up close, it looks fantastic.
And no, I think that's a good point. It was never designed to be that color holistically from the beginning. And this owner painted it to give it a little bit of a splash, but it does, when you look at the whole thing, the color of the fascia and the roofs, and there's probably a better color, but it is my favorite color, probably not here. So
yeah,
we'll let our, you and the design team.
Haley has already looked at it and said, I like some changes. But there's also some good things that the current owner's done. He's got these planters outside.
Yeah.
And you might look at it and go, well, it's just for decoration. It kind of is, but it also prevents people from kind of parking their car between the front door and the garage up against the building.
Yeah.
And I actually think we should go with even bigger planters and run some watering systems from the building from it. I think that'd be a brilliant idea. I think, yes, we'll do some painting changes. The insides are builder grade. If anybody's not familiar with builder grade, if you buy an entry-level home, the things they put in that place, carpeting, it's the thin carpeting that's not very dense, your kitchen faucet, your
the basic stuff,
doorknobs, the lighting especially, it's the simple stuff they buy in bulk, they put in, and it looks fine. But we can, two-tone paint, enhance some of the cabinets are fine, but I don't like the hinges. Yeah. So a couple of them that the hinges are falling off. These are not big expense items. Haley was excited for how we're going to play with some of these things, but even adding a bigger planter out to the front, I don't think we should add any more landscaping because it's more to take care of. But there's little elements like that we can do this property just to make it feel more comfortable. The ceiling fans are fine, but the appliance package, over time we'll take it to the next level. We've got stainless steel refrigerators, but we have basic black stoves and dishwashers. We can take that up over time based on turns and put a few more dollars into better lock sets, things that we can do to make it look a little better and feel a little better. And it's just going to benefit us. They're great units. And if we can find more opportunities like this without having to, we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. We're very good at it. We have great construction people. We're going to buy some other properties that are going to need renovations, but we don't have to do that every time.